Okay, our next question for the question and answer segment is, how does the decline of the United States compare to the other world powers in history? And really, there's one I want to focus on here, and that's the last world power before the United States, the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom spanned the entire world from sunrise to sunset, everywhere in the world, was at least touched by the United Kingdom. They were the small island nation that had a huge mercantile trade empire. They were a huge military power, particularly naval power, and they had a slow and steady decline, which people consider to be uh, acceptable. It wasn't like a horrific thing. The United Kingdom, the people of the United Kingdom, while some of them I'm sure were not happy about the decline, they were like, we can't continue being the world place. We have to slow down our pace. We're just a small island nation while the rest of the world is growing. And so they had a slow descent into just being another regional power within the world, and some would even say less than a regional power at this point. But uh, that might ease some of the concern of Americans, but I'm unfortunately going to be the bearer of bad news here, which is that United States I don't think is going to have that slow decline. And the reason for it is because of the differences between the United Kingdom's decline and America's decline. In the United Kingdom's case, the rising power, America, is extremely favorable to the United Kingdom. They have a lot in common, similar cultural histories, even though the United States fought the American Revolution to break away from the United Kingdom after that war, after that revolution. The United States became very close to the United Kingdom. And so United Kingdom was declining, but they had a very happy, very satisfied relationship with the upcoming power. Well, guess what? The United States does not have that happy, favorable relationship with China. China remembers the century of humiliation that they went through because of Western colonial powers. They remember how poorly they were treated. They remember the amount of drugs that were brought into their country to cause human suffering so that other countries can benefit from it. They remember all these things. And not only that, but they don't even have to go that far back in history to remember, because it's happening right now that the United States is trying to break apart China. They're trying to break apart other countries around China in order to better get at China. They're trying to use countries like India, like Japan, like South Korea, like Taiwan, which is a province of China. They're trying to use all these different areas against China. They're even trying to break up Russia so that they can attack China from various different directions instead of just kind of the east and south directions. And so, United States, you don't have to go back to the century of humiliation to recognize that United States' declining power does not have a good relationship with the upcoming power of China. And so, I would say maybe not comparing United States to every other world power in history that was declining, but comparing it to the last one, we can see that there are a lot of factors to consider that would lead us to believe that the declining United States is not going to be as calm and slow of a descent as the United Kingdom's descent from the world power, because of the difference in the United States' relationship with China compared to the United Kingdom's relationship with the United States. And so it's different. I think that as soon as China has the reins to stop the United States from its meddling, I think China's absolutely going to do that, because it doesn't like how America's treating China. That's the thing where American public opinion is vastly anti-China right now, but China has done pretty much nothing different within the past 20 years. Yet the American propaganda apparatus has fomented a ton of anti-Chinese hostility over this past 20 years. And China remembers that because it's still happening right now. Okay? And so that's what's different. China, and people talk about, well, decoupling United States and China, it's going to hurt both of them. Well, China, I was recently reading about how they have more trade with other countries than they do with the United States now, because they've been trading with the multipolar world, BRICS countries, like BRICS countries, and so they don't have to worry too much about decoupling. America, though, has no alternatives when it comes to manufacturing a lot of goods, and they've been trying things like onshoring, so getting industry back in America. It's not been going overly well. They've been trying friendshoring. They've been trying nearshoring to get it to countries close to America. It's just none of that's working. America needs China far, 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 far more than China needs America. And that's going to be a huge problem for the United States when it comes to easing out of being a world power, because it's definitively easing out of being a world power. I mean, we're going to talk about this in later segments, but the United States, being one of the wealthiest countries in the world, has the highest just overall flat GDP in the world. They have a lower life expectancy than a middle income country like China that has a far lower per capita income. It's amazing how much China has been able to do with so little available resources, with the hand that they've been dealt in life, while America has a ton of resources, a ton of opportunities, and they've just squandered it completely. And so, how does this differ compared to prior powers? United States is not going to have a good time with this decline.